So we just wanted to get back on here and we wanted to talk about something. I recently just put out a video the other day of K2 and bath salts. And we were just talking and he brought up a couple good discussions and he actually knows a lot more about it than I thought. He never did it, but he did a little research, so give him a little rundown.
Well, yeah, the bath salts and stuff, I didn't technically do that. I've done other things. They call them the designer drugs or the analogs of a substance. So the bath salts is this thing they called it's MDPV. I'm not sure what the scientific name is of it, but it's like, say, a cousin of, like, say you got MDMA.
Yeah.
And you get a designer drug of it. They just add like an oxygen molecule or something like that, so people from China can send it over to America or wherever else in the world, wherever it's coming from, and it's technically not illegal. It's like a gray area, and that's how the bath salts and the K2s and stuff like that came about. Because K2 is a man-made cannabinoid, so it's what would be inside of. It's like a THC. It's like a sativa or an indica, but they changed the molecule, so it's basically the same thing, but it's not. And with the bath salts, the MDPV and the K2 and stuff like that, what they tweaked in the molecules started having negative effects. Like I've seen people on the K2s and stuff like that start losing patches of hair, start going crazy. You got the people in Florida on Flocka and shit like that, and they start going nuts and like ripping off their clothes. But like the MDPVs and stuff like that, the bath salts that are messing people up are like an equivalent to like almost like an amphetamine or like a PCP or something like that. It's like in the family of it, but it'll like they get delivered to your body differently or processed differently, and then the government eventually catches on to it and does an emergency scheduling on it, and then it becomes illegal, and then the chemists take that molecule and tweak it just this much, and then send it over too. That's how fentanyl and everything got involved, because fentanyl is heroin is like a derivative of methadone and opium and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then now,
morphine.
Yeah, because you used to be able to buy the fentanyl and stuff like that until they caught on to it. They didn't even know what it was, and people started dying from the fentanyl and shit. They're saying it was looking like overdoses, but they're saying it's not heroin. And then eventually they caught on to what it was. It was a scientist that was trying to make a stronger opiate to try to be able to sell legally to like big pharma and shit like that, but he wasn't sanctioned to doing it. He ended up getting into a shitload of trouble. But now that's why you have things like fentanyl that's 1,000 to 100 times stronger than friggin' heroin, and then now they got the carfentanol that's 100 times stronger than the fentanyl.
And that's just moving molecules?
It's just moving different molecules. It's the same substance, the same base of it. It's like having different kinds of rum. You got this kind of spiced rum, and then you got this kind of scotch, or you got this and that. It's all made from like rye or potatoes or something like that, but then they add different things to it to make it different. It's kind of the same concept, but with drugs. And then if it's not on paper scheduled as that friggin' molecule, then technically it's not illegal. So then you got people from India and China and England and the Netherlands friggin' have chemists making this stuff so that they can send it over to America, because we use more drugs than anybody on the planet.
Yeah, right.
And then they send it to them, and then eventually they do it. But the thing that they're doing now is because of the fentanyl and the carfentanol, now they're just making whole families of drugs illegal. So now even if you come out with something like fentanyl or carfentanol, if they come out with a different one and it's from the same family, it's automatically illegal now.
Wow.
But now if you're getting it through the mail and it wasn't illegal and they emergency schedule it, now you get caught with an ounce of that. It's like getting caught with an ounce of fentanyl and heroin. Now you're doing big time.
Wow.
So that's why the minimum mandatories are really starting to smoke people too, which is understandable with the fentanyl and the carfentanol and all that shit, because that's just dropping people like flies.
People,
But now you got somebody that buys something that's like mushrooms and they get caught with a gram of it, and now they're looking at 15 years and shit.
Wow.
So that's a whole different ball game. But what was I gonna say?
You're talking about like the MDMA and like the bath salts.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. It's just chemists playing with friggin' chemistry, switching things around to try to get past the laws and whatnot. That's how like all the Silk Road and all that shit happened. That dude ended up getting caught with all that money and stuff like that. Never got caught with any drugs. Never got caught with anything, and still got smoked for all sorts of time because he was setting everything up from all over the world and shit.
Really?
Yeah, the dark web stuff they call it. You could buy like a bazooka or a friggin' pan, eggs or something delivered right to your door.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I mean, like all these drugs, because they're not labeled under a class substance, Like you were able to buy them from the store, you were able to buy them over online.
There's
like,
a lot of normal things too that aren't that used to be like that. Like GHB never used to be illegal and shit like that until like a lot of bodybuilders used to use it because you get more REM sleep when you take it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
rapid eye movement.
then people started using it to like rape people and stuff and ruined it for everybody and shit like that. DMT and stuff like that never used to be illegal and stuff, and then people caught on to it and shit. So
DMT,
it's not just with that.
I heard about that stuff, but yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah, all sorts of different things like that. So it's just chemists playing with chemistry, and now that the internet wasn't around friggin' 20 years ago, you couldn't do nothing. So it's just changing the whole dynamic, you know. And even the things that are illegal, you know, you still buy whatever you want. You probably buy a friggin' child on the internet if you never know the right place to look. You know what I mean? It's absolutely insane.
It's really sad, and you know, like.
Oh, they were having slave trades on YouTube and stuff like that from Somalia, like the things that you see in different parts of the world and shit that comes over here. It's just absolutely insane.
There's some scummy ass people in this world, man. Some really bad people. And so now another topic that I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I've been hearing a lot about kratom. How I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. A lot of people use it to come off. I'm not exactly sure if it's in like the opiate family or something like that, but a lot of people make it into a tea. It's supposed to help with like withdrawals and stuff. I think a lot of people in Asia use it for like pain management and stuff.
Yes.
So one of the last times I was going to get clean, they were trying to like push methadone and stuff on it. I had a friend tell me about it. I never got into it, but you used to be able to buy that legally too, and I think they just started.
No, you can still go to the smoke shops and get it.
All right, so I was misinformed about that, but yeah. But they say it's not addictive, but I heard if you drink enough of it and stuff like that, it can have similar effects. It's just not as strong. Like
it comes from an evergreen tree.
Opiate. Yeah, it comes from
Spiosa mygiana, something like that, and it's an Asian pine tree, I believe.
Yeah, they make teas and stuff out of it. A lot of people, from what I hear, it's like a way of life out there. People use it for pain management, but I've heard a lot of people getting clean at home and stuff like that, using that stuff, making a tea or taking a capsule of it and stuff like that.
Well, you know Mac Lethal. You ever heard of Mac Lethal?
No.
He's the white rapper that kind of he brings in, like he has people email him and he'll write raps for people. Like if they're going through a hard time or if a kid's getting bullied at school, he makes these raps. Well, he made a rap about his recovery because he was addicted to painkillers.
Yeah.
And I guess he got kratom from this website. So he did a whole rap on how it made him not withdraw like he would have, and he was able to get off the drugs.
Yeah, I heard it's very mild and stuff, which it sounds a whole lot more attractive than going through the Suboxone than methadone, because especially with the stuff that they're making the dope out of now, friggin' you wait 24 hours to take the Suboxone, you still get sick.
Yeah.
And then they're kicking that, and the methadone is always harder than any other habits I ever had.
Yeah, for
sick
sure.
For friggin' 2-3 weeks and shit like that at a time.
Yeah, and that is very true. But on my channel, I don't discriminate about anything. Suboxone, methadone, kratom, any of these things that are gonna get your life back in order, I recommend.
Hey,
trust and believe.
Whatever works. We all get into it different ways. We all come out in different ways.
I mean,
it works for you.
Exactly. There's some people that just can't not go without something in life. You know what I mean? So whatever they need to do to get their life back, it works for me.
Yeah. Hey, if you're handling your business, it's not my business how you're doing it. You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, but there's a lot of people in recovery that look down on you for that. You go to an AA meeting or an NA meeting and you tell them that you're on this medication, and they look at you like you're a piece of shit, like you're still using. And that's not cool, okay? Because whatever works, whatever makes you not stick a needle in your arm every day is a good day.
I did the Vivitrol for a little while.
Yeah.
That shit was like a godsend.
Yeah, I heard about that. I never did it. I got released on parole.
Yeah.
So I wasn't eligible. I would have had to leave, and then I would have had to get this
It's a prescription.
Yeah, and it would have been a little more difficult if I would have wrapped up.
Yeah.
They would have gave it to me before I left, so
Yeah.
I would have got it inside of prison and left with that. But I didn't really need it, you know what I mean?
It's just a blocker. It's just the naloxone.
Yeah.
So when I first came, I did it as like a safety blanket. I only did it for a few months because I kind of had my mind made up.
Yeah.
But I did it anyways, and the thought of everything just is completely out of your brain. It's like you know, you do the Suboxone or something else, you kind of have that little bit of a feeling. It
Yeah.
was like none of that feeling, and then none of the thoughts or anything ever came. Like I even stopped having drug dreams when I stopped having it. For years
Really?
when I got them.
Yeah.
The months I was on, I didn't even have it. That stuff is a godsend.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
especially if you're still a little bit leery. Is that when I first got clean the first time, there was nothing like that around. It was either methadone or Suboxone.
Yeah.
And I tried both, and both of them always brought me back. It didn't work for me, but if I think they would have had that Vivitrol.
But even when I started using drugs, there wasn't even Suboxone.
Oh, yeah,
like
no.
Suboxone's fairly new. It's
Yeah.
like maybe.
I remember going to the doctors on Hanover Street. It looked like a trap house. You forget
Yeah,
the guy
it's-
$250, he'd give you your
it's-
shit. There's the friggin' wafers.
It's still like that.
Yeah, it's nuts,
It's
man.
still like that.
I couldn't even believe it was real.
I mean, that's yeah, I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
My mother actually goes over to that doctor, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe it's a little better. I mean, my mother isn't somebody that abuses medication,
Yeah,
so she just gets depression medicine. She doesn't
Yeah.
get anything other than the depression medicine.
Yeah.
But like the Suboxone clinic is upstairs.
Yeah.
She goes to the doctor downstairs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
yeah. They had a couple. They had different floors and stuff. But I mean, even that helped. But they always gave me more what you need. You know, I didn't need as much as they gave. They said, "Oh, give it to your friends. Help
Yeah,
them
yeah,
get
yeah,
clean."
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
They
yeah,
literally tell you that, which it helped at the time. But that always had my brain in a certain gear. You know what I mean? Like I was almost there, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it kind of always kept a thought in my head. I couldn't get away with it until I got away from all of it, because it always had that little like voice in the back of your head, like, "Dad, just don't take it today."
Yeah,
You
right.
know, and once I finally got away from everything, that voice quieted a bit. But
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to touch on like when you were in prison and you came in with a habit. Did you come in with a habit?
I kicked 180 milligrams of methadone.
Ooh, I kicked 150, so I know what you're going through.
Hey, the first
Three
days,
months of no sleep. Literally 3 months.
The first 3 days, I'm like, wow, this shit's not bad. I'm not even sick. This thing's awesome. And they were
Yeah.
like, just wait, kid.
Yes.
I remember waking up on the third day, and I was like, no.
No,
is
not even
good.
the third day. It was the third week, bro. Oh no, the second week. I was able to go 2 weeks without. While I was still sleeping.
Yeah.
I was a little uncomfortable, but I was sleeping. So I was like, oh, this shit ain't that bad. 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, I got wicked sick.
No, by the third day, I was fucking done.
Yeah.
I don't think I slept for friggin' a whole month. I was friggin' halfway hallucinating and everything.
Me too. I was
nuts.
seeing things run
Yeah.
across the wall, bro.
I'd be laying down facing the wall trying to sleep because I was in the mods at the time, so I was just facing the friggin' wall, and it was almost like it was faces in front of me
Yeah,
and shit.
man.
That was bad. That was definitely the worst kick I've had, and they only put me in for 30 days that time on a violation. I came out still sick, got high, they drug tested me, and then sent me back in. And that's how I did my first 18 months. I was
That's
like, what the hell?
crazy.
They set me up for a drive-by on that one.
Wow. So you did drugs in jail, you got let out, and you failed the drug test.
No, I failed the drug test. They made me do 30 days as like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But they kind of told me I had to go on a maintenance program because I kept on failing drug tests.
Yeah.
I was only 17. They would charge me as an adult. So that was a part of like the stipulations because I kept messing up. So I went on the methadone, and of course I'm saying, oh, I'm still sick. And they keep putting me up.
Yeah,
Up.
of course.
Now I'm doing a double habit. I'm on 180 milligrams. I'm friggin' getting high. I pop pot on a drug test. They go, all right, well, now you're going to do 30 days.
Ooh.
And the probation officer was in check. He
Yeah.
knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I was sick the whole time. I get out that day. I couldn't eat, so I was saving the canteen that was getting sent in to me. I used that money. I got high. I get called the next day to come and take a drug test. I failed again. They said, all right, you're going back in, but have a good time. Then I went in and finished kicking the rest. Yeah, that was a nightmare that time.
Yeah, that's.
But every time I've never gone to jail without having a habit. I've never been in trouble without drugs being involved. So
Yeah, exactly,
every time
yeah.
I've gone, I've always been kicked. You know.
and that's it's the easiest to kick while you're in prison, but it is tough. It's tough,
Oh.
but it's not anything like kicking on the street.
Mentally, it's different because you know you can't go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
every
it
time
is.
I quit cigarettes inside of there is because I know I can't get cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's not even a thought
But-
inside your mind, but it didn't make the withdrawal any easier.
But that's
just
funny
knew.
because I never even thought about cigarettes. Cigarettes was never the issue because I was always fighting the bigger demon. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was coming off of the methadone, so that's the only thing I was worried about was methadone.
Yeah.
I didn't care about my nicotine habit at that time. All I wanted was sweets and coffee. That's why I was buying coffee balls left and right.
Yeah, I couldn't even eat for the longest time.
Yeah, see, it affects people differently. Like, I could eat all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It never affected my food intake. I never puked. It was just the creepy crawly legs, the restlessness, and sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep was the biggest, man.
Yeah,
If
the
I
sleep,
couldn't
the creepy
sleep,
crawlies.
you know, that's the worst feeling. Like, you're doing a double bid because you're supposed to be sleeping at night.
Yeah.
You're in prison all day and then you're in prison all night because you're up all night. So you should be sleeping and then waking up and then having your short little day, you know. But you're up 24 hours for 4 or 5 weeks. So
Yeah.
just a message to the kids or anybody that wants to use drugs. It's you know, take it from me and this guy. We've been there. We've done it. We've seen some pretty crazy stuff. We're trying to educate the youth. We're trying to educate people, even 30, 40, 50 years old, man, and that have never done drugs. Take it from us. It is not a good look. You're going to be sick. You're going to be miserable. People are going to not like you. You're going to burn all your bridges. And it's just the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. But we've been talking for a little while. We're going to end it right here. He's going to go home. It's about to be snowing soon. And he's going to get his computer ready. We're going to get a part 3 going. But anybody else that wants to hop on here, man, and tell their story, you know, I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. I've been getting more comfortable with being in front of the camera. I'm getting used to it. I could tell he was a little iffy at first. He got comfortable. It's not that bad. It really isn't.
Nope.
We're just talking. We're talking to our people. People want to hear this stuff, and I appreciate everybody that watches. God bless. Rock out. We'll be in touch.